right.
Hello.
Hello, how are you guys?
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
great.
Hi,
Nice
everyone.
afternoon.
Happy to see you.
And Clara?
Hi.
Clara.
He's 3 years old.
Oh my goodness, she has grown up so much. She's so cute.
We could either introduce ourselves to you a bit, or start answering questions. You probably have the format already set, Megan.
Well, I just gave the kids the questions, but if you guys want to introduce yourselves a little bit, go ahead, and then we'll start in with questions. We got about 40 minutes today.
Oh. Okay, then I'll try to be quick. I wrote some things down about who we are.
Okay.
So I'm Gratia, this is Winfried, and this is Clara. Clara's 3, and Katarina's 5. And we also have Salah living with us. He's someone who fled the war in Damascus and in Syria, and he escaped from torture there, and also his boat sank, and he and his classmates actually had to swim to the shore. And his family is still trying to make it out of Damascus, and he wants to be a doctor here and goes to our Bible study, and he's Muslim. But he is interested and sometimes goes to church with us. And let's see, we forgot to put a picture of all of us. So you can't see Catalina or Sala, but that's who we are.
And you're a music teacher?
I'm a music teacher.
And I build houses.
And I'm also a translator. I translate from German to English. And Katarina and Clara are still going to preschool. Do you have questions for us?
Okay, who is number one?
I have first question. How long have you lived in Germany?
I've lived in Germany for 10 years now. I moved from New York, and I lived in several places in the States before I moved here. But yeah.
Yeah, and I've lived in Germany for all my life. Or actually, I was born in Hamburg, and then about 20 years ago, I moved to Berlin. And from there, I went to the US and met Gratia and convinced her that Germany is a nice place to live.
We got to work on the other way, that the United States is a good place for you guys to come and live.
Yeah.
They get to see you more.
Send someone over.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we wouldn't be having this call.
Yeah. Such changes, of course.
All right.
Should we? Do you guys want to ask us your questions, or should I just read them from the piece of paper?
You guys want to ask them? Yeah, they want to ask. So, okay.
Good.
Ask away. Go ahead.
Okay, Jasmine, go ahead, Jasmine.
Where in Germany do you live?
We live in Berlin, the capital. It's in the north. So there's no lederhosen here. This is ladder. And we have some Oktoberfest, but that's mostly down in the south. And also the mountains are down south.
Yeah, and Berlin is pretty big. There are about 3 million people living here. And in the greater Berlin area, it's about 6 million. So pretty crowded.
A little bit less than New York. New York is more like 9 million. Yeah. But the size, yeah. That's where we live.
Number 3.
Next question.
I know I kind of answered this one already, but you want to ask it anyway, Jaden?
I'm just going to say this to both of you. What do you guys do for jobs?
I know you guys kind of said that a little bit, but if you want to explain kind of a little more.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, I translate text. That means I work for, I translate musical text for the opera, or I translate, lots of different texts, basically. And I also teach music, flute and piano lessons.
Yeah, and I build houses, and even though I studied architecture, it's officially called project management, what I do. So sometimes I think with the film, you have the director, right? And you have the producer, and I'm more like the producer than the director, which is like the architect. So I organize housing, and especially, I don't know whether you've ever heard about co-housing, where people build a house together. So that's
Because it's really crowded here and people want to know their neighbors. They don't have their own houses here. they mostly have to live in the bigger cities where it's you live in an apartment where it's smaller. So then you are interested in knowing your neighbors.
Okay.
Number 4.
Next question.
Hi. What is your most common type of transportation?
We personally use the bike a lot because it's easy to just stay within your own neighborhood to get your groceries and get everything you need. It's pretty limited. But other than that, you can use the train very easily, especially in a big city like this. Those are the most common modes of transportation, even though it's also possible to use a car. And we know people with cars. There are plenty of friends that we have with cars. We use a car sharing program, actually. That's where you all pay a monthly fee, and then you go and take your card, and it unlocks the car, and then you reserve it for a time, and then go drive where you need to go and put it back.
So you don't have to worry about repairs.
Right.
That's taken care of.
That's nice.
Who's got number 5?
Next question.
Hi, do you drive on the left side of the road, and why are the steering wheels on the right side of the car?
We actually don't.
Now, actually, I was confused about that question. Here in Germany, we drive on the right side, and the steering wheel is on the left. But in England, that's where it's all opposite.
Oh, okay.
And I think the idea is that you always have the steering kind of in the middle of the road so you can see better. That's why it's kind of always
Okay.
away from the side you drive on.
Very good. 6. This is you, Nicole. Just read the question. How do you pronounce certain vowel sounds in German?
Well, most of them are pretty straightforward, like ah, and an e is e, and an I is e, and an o is o, and a u is u. But then there's the funny ones with umlauts. Those are the little dots on the top. You know, you have like 2 dots on the top, and those are the ones where you would pronounce it like it would normally be, but you just say it like an e, and then put your mouth like it's that. Like o would be u. It's like saying an e, but having your mouth in an o. U. Or like a u, instead of u, it would be u. Like saying an e, but making it up in a u, etc.
Did you get that?
Yeah.
Did that make sense? Those are the only extra letters in the German language, actually. Is these umlaut words, the ones with the dots on top.
Okay. Right. Who's number 7?
Could you teach us a few German words, and are there feminine words and masculine words?
Sure, yeah, there are feminine and masculine and neuter words. And I found some really fun ones for you guys and a really long one at the end. So porcupine is Stachelschwein. It rhymes, that makes it easy. And Stachel means pokey. So like a little pokey pig, kind of. Stachelschwein is porcupine. Yeah. And then Ohrwurm means earworm, and that's when you get a jingle in your head and you can't get it out. It's a small world. That would be an Ohrwurm. And then here's a really long. Oh, here's a nice one. Mouse is mouse.
Oh, nice. You can do that one. Mouse. Mouse.
And house is house.
House. And they call their little ones. They call them mouse. That's a nickname. It's like a nice thing here to call someone a mouse.
But you would never call them sugar
Or honey. You would kind of laugh about that here. So she's our little mouse. And then here's a really long one for you. Badewanne Schaumsong. That's currently one of our older daughter's favorite. Badewanne is bathtub, and Schaum is bubbles, and song is song. So Badewanne Schaumsong.
So in German you can make really long words
Yeah.
by putting a lot of nouns together.
Yeah. It's really fun.
That's cool.
Yeah, the whole thing about feminine, masculine, yeah, we have all of these. But it's sometimes, especially to English speakers, it's counterintuitive. And then we go to France, and they also have the same system, but totally different. The moon here is male, in France it's female. Go figure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Me. What types of
Yeah.
foods do you eat?
we eat a lot of the same kinds of foods. In fact, our family has a salad every evening and like eggs or cereal for breakfast, and but they eat warm during a warm meal during the midday and a cold meal during the evening, usually like bread or something. They also have some special stuff, like one of the things that was invented in Germany was currywurst. Maybe you've heard of it. It's pretty popular here.
And yeah, what's special for German food is we have very good bread and tons of cheeses.
Lots of different kinds.
So not just cheddar and cheddar and cheddar, but we have 150 different kinds or whatever. Ah, right. And the classic German meal, we call it a map meal, because if you look at your plate, it looks a bit like a map. Somewhere on the left, you have the piece of meat. Somewhere in the north, maybe, you have some vegetable. And then you have some potatoes or rice or whatever with it to make you full. And then you put a sauce on top. And so tons of old German meals follow that concept.
Yeah.
So,
next question?
Who's 9?
Me. What kind of animals are in Germany?
We have a lot of the same kinds of animals. There are horses and like of course domestic ones like dogs and cats, and they eat their cats here like in China. And we here are near a sort of a street area, sort of a strip of greenery, a green area, and we have nightingales, and that's really lovely. They sing at all times of day and have a beautiful song. What else? I didn't really.
yeah. The main difference is when Gratia came here, she was really confused because we don't have any dangerous animals.
It's not a warm
plants.
area.
So basically, they're nettles and they make you itch, but that's all. And so also our mosquitoes, mosquito bites are nasty, but that's about all.
No spiders that are poisonous. No thing.
Yeah, but not really dangerous.
Yeah, it's true. Just kind of big cellar spiders. That's all. Next question.
What is the climate like?
It's less humid than Iowa. In the north, it's more moderate. In the south, it's warmer in the summer and colder in the winter. And here, it's fairly gray, except in the summer. But in the south, like in Freiburg, that's the nicest place because it's sunny.
Yeah, but you forgot to say in general, it's a bit similar to Iowa, except less humid.
Okay.
So that's when I went to Iowa, I liked it quite a bit because it made me feel at home.
We do what we can.
You ordered the weather for him, huh? We'll order ahead next time too, okay, Megan?
All right, sounds good.
What is the school system
Yeah.
like? Is childcare easy to find?
It's really easy to find childcare because it's paid for by the state. After what age is it again? It's paid for by the state?
As of age 3.
As of age 3. But most people send their kids to childcare when they're 1 because it's sponsored mostly by the state. Most of the costs are covered. And
Don't do that.
there are fewer. It's more based on public schools and fewer private schools. Actually, and then they're more even in quality. It's just you don't find like areas in the slum where you have schools that are difficult. It doesn't really happen as much here. And but there is something that does happen when you're in 6th grade. That's when you take an exam and you either go into the higher school or the lower school, and that's what you're doing for your whole life. Then pretty much you're in one or the other of those, and then that determines what your profession will be, basically, whether you're going to go to university or not. And that test happens in 6th grade.
It is broken now. I want to repair it.
Okay. I hope that was good. Yeah.
Good. Who's 12?
Okay. Sorry. What's this?
We're a bit distracted.
That's okay.
Do you talk about World War II experiences much anymore?
It's getting less and less. because people who actually experienced that time are getting older or even have died. But let's say my parents, they also wrote down their story, and so I have the story how they fled after the war from what is Poland today to West Germany, and I think the whole topic is still there, and it has also very much influenced German politics, how we deal with kind of questions where, about personal freedom and how kind of their state can try to take over control. Because, I mean, also then after the war, we had the East German government, and so this whole Nazi thing is still pretty much being discussed.
And it's considered really important so that it doesn't happen again, to be aware of the factors of what's involved in that. And also to be aware of how people died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, 13. Who has that one?
What is the pollution like in Germany?
Actually, there's not very much pollution because in the 60s, people started already working against kind of all the negative side effects of, let's say, industrial production and burning coal and all of this. And so now there are filters and strong regulations for cars and power plants and heating systems and houses. And I think the biggest problem right now we see is that it seems that chemicals being used in agriculture seem to make bees die. And so there are less and less bees. And that, of course, is also very dangerous because if they don't make sure that their pollen gets kind of everywhere, then there are less plants and trees in the future. So that's being discussed right now. And kind of they introduce new laws kind of reducing the amount of chemicals being used in agriculture.
Okay, very good. Okay, 14, I think.
What are some common German names?
We collected some of the names of our friends. We know Peter, which is Peter, Susanna, which is Susanna, Katja, Martin, which is Martin, Andrea, which is Andrea, Jana, and some old ones are like Winfried or Ruted or Reinhild. Those are really old ones.
Yeah.
Mark or...
But the funny thing is that the old ones are coming back. So for a while, there were no Johannas.
Johanna.
Now there are more Johannas. And I think soon there will be less Johannas. So it goes back and forth.
There we go. Those are some unique names. Maybe that's what I should name baby Ned.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. Oh, there we go. Okay. What about 15? Who has 15? All right, Zach.
Is 911 only in the United States emergency number?
I can't tell you if it's only a U.S. number, but I know here it's 112. It's in some places, but
I think it's different in the country. I would think.
yeah, that could be.
Oh, 16.
Hi. Are you affected by the tizanidine cyanide spill in Romania from 2000?
To be honest, when I read that question, I thought, I have not even heard about it. So I guess we weren't affected.
Although we
Close to you.
we don't live near the Danube.
Yeah.
That's in the south part of the country.
Good. All right, 17. That's you, Ben.
Hello, what fast food restaurants do you have?
Yeah, we also have McDonald's and Burger King.
Yes.
That are actually what we have mostly over here in terms of American chains. And then there are tons of small places where you can have falafel or shawarma, which is Arabic food, or Arabic. And Döner Kebab, which is Turkish. Or then there's also German fast food. We talked about currywurst and fries already. And you can have meatballs, whatever. And so that's what you can have as a takeaway. And of course, we have pizza places and yeah. So I think that's fast food.
But there are, of course, also a lot of street cafes all over. So many more than in the US, I feel. Like you just, because everyone's close together in the city and everything's in your neighborhood, it's easier to just go down the street and go out to eat and sit on the sidewalk under the umbrella or whatever. It's nice. There are a lot of street cafes. It's very European.
All right. I guess I have number 18. Nobody wanted to ask this one. So, all right, here we go. Have you ever been to the Heidelberg Castle?
I haven't. I want to go.
I have. But I think, if I remember right, I've been to Heidelberg, but I think I didn't want to spend the entrance fee, so I didn't go in.
Oh.
I only walked around or something.
I'll go in for him next time.
There you go.
Let you know how it is.
Okay, good. All right, who's number 19?
What do you like to do for entertainment?
Well, we kind of collected what we know there is for entertainment because right now we spend a lot of our time with our family at home because the kids are so small. But there are a lot of sports like biking, canoeing, sailing, golf, tennis, swimming. There are a lot of cultural events like concerts and plays and movies, or you could go sing in the choir. There's lots of restaurants you could go to, street cafes, like I said, or what can you think of? You could go dancing, almost any kind. Really popular over here is tango, salsa.
Yeah, or also interesting, somewhere, sadly we didn't know about it, but found out that right in our neighborhood there's a climbing gym. So you just go there and then, so you can climb as much as you want and don't have to go very far. That was kind of surprising.
And
it's indoor though.
It's a big city, so there's a lot. Nice.
Number 20.
Yeah. What is the most interesting place you've been in Germany?
I really liked it's called the Wattenmeer, or the Watt, and those are the mud flats. And basically, it's in the north, on the North Sea, and there's like maybe an island out there, and then you can like walk when the tide has gone out. You can just walk all the way to the island and back. And sometimes they take tours, and it's important to have a tour guide because if you get stuck in the middle, then the water comes back, and that's pretty scary. And it can come back really fast. But it's so fascinating that you get to see the underground, like it just disappears for 12 hours or so, and then comes back in. I don't know. But it's fascinating.
No, it's 12 hours from high to high.
High to high, so it's like pretty.
So 6 hours is going back, down, and 6 hours is coming back. So you have something, depending where you are, you have more or less time. Yeah, I think that's a very interesting place. I couldn't think of interesting places because somehow you live here and then you think, okay.
It all becomes normal to you, right? Yeah.
What's that?
It all becomes normal to you. You just take advantage of what you have,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Take for granted.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What are we at? 21?
Yeah. Do you sometimes have difficulties understanding English?
What?
Do you
What?
sometimes?
No, just kidding.
You.
That's funny.
Getting humiliated.
When the Skype connection's bad, yeah. But usually, I mean, I don't have any trouble because it's my mother tongue and I'll never forget it. It'll always be my mother tongue. But I've noticed that international speakers have trouble, for example, with the endings of words if we don't enunciate, you know, like sometimes we say enunciate, you know, and it's, so if you don't enunciate the T's or the ends of the words, then they're like, what? Like I said one time, I've been there, and she was like, what, Ben, what? So yeah, it depends how.
And I noticed when I first met Gratia, it was hard to understand her because she didn't know that certain words maybe are not, you don't learn that in school over here, or like she was just describing this, I've been blah, blah, blah. And so, yeah, it became better after a while because also her English became more understandable for international speakers.
There's a classic example. Think about the difference between I can and I can't. It's just shorter, but you can't hear that T at the end. So I for a long time, I kept getting frustrated. I thought, why can't he understand that I'm saying I can't? And then I figured, oh, you have to say, I can't. Yeah. So.
How much has Germany changed since you were little?
Yeah, very interesting question. And I think there were two major changes, and one has mostly to do with technology. When I was little, we had a phone where you would dial, and you had a cord, and you would sit next to the telephone for hours, and then try that with a text message. Oh, didn't work. And so today you have kind of media and technology all over the place, and it's very different. And the other thing is, when I was 14, the wall fell, and so East Germany and West Germany became one state, and also in Eastern Europe you travel freely, and it was much less difficult, and then there was one currency, and so the world is much more open, let's say, than 30, 40 years ago. And so I feel there are the major changes, because everything else, I mean, we had cars back then, and I guess they were a bit slower than today, because in Germany there's no speed limit on the highways, so you can go much faster today. And in the shops, you basically buy everything like today, except maybe iPhone, because that didn't exist yet. So I think technology and that the political world has changed in terms of the East being more open.
I feel like Germany has changed a lot in the 10 years that I've been here in a variety of ways. One is that, like after the war, a lot of buildings were destroyed, so a lot of building gradually happened. And when the wall fell, there was also a lot of building that took place as well to replace the older buildings in the east or whatever. And so there's been a lot of construction, and now there's it's mostly filled up, which means that it makes it hard to find places to live. And this has a major effect on people in various ways. Like if it's hard to find a place to live, then only the rich can, and then it gets more difficult to find a place to rent or whatever. And also right now, in the last few years, there have been a lot of people coming in as refugees, and that has changed things because a lot of people are working to help people integrate into the society now. Like they need to find a place to live. They have to, if they've gone through trauma, they have to be, helped, or, a lot of practical issues now have to be addressed, and that's changing a lot of things too. Is that true?
Yeah, it's also very interesting to see how the Germans who've just lived, so they can see how they can make a difference in the life of someone else, and how these people are very thankful for it. And so it's that happened a year and a half ago, kind of, a major influx. And so that was definitely also something new. Yeah.
Do people in Germany go hunting?
Yes, but there are very few people, and you have to receive special training and need a license. And I think it's mostly hunting parties. It's also kind of regulated because we have much more people living here, given the space we have. And so also the forest where you could hunt, you have to make sure that you don't hunt too much. And so I believe it's more regulated than in the US. And I would guess it's maybe 1 in 1,000 people. I don't know. So I don't know anybody who's hunting, but I know they exist.
Okay. That's a big thing here in Iowa, so kids were kind of curious if that was common or.
So what do you hunt in Iowa?
What do we hunt?
What do you hunt in Iowa?
Deer, turkey, duck, geese.
Here.
Yeah, rabbit.
Okay.
have raccoons?
Cool.
No, you just hit the raccoons, Jake.
Yeah.
Anything that moves.
I used to have a pet raccoon. All right, good. Who's got 24?
What type of landforms are common in Germany?
I really like the Alps in the south. Those are the mountains. They're sort of similar to the Rockies, but a little more grass on them, I'd say. And then, of course, I talked about the mudflats in the north. Those are interesting, very limited in geography, but they're there. And it's mostly flat in the north with trees and pasture. And it gets more hilly once you get to the south.
Yeah, and of course, if you go more into the details, then in the north, near the sea, it's really flat. And there is kind of, Rachel's from Colorado, so she thinks here it's flat, but it's not as flat as you think. And so then you have hilly hills, and then hilly mountains, and then it's getting more mountainous in the south. So there are all sorts of, but that's basically what we have, and it's all very green.
Lots of nice lakes that you can go to around here. Also.
That's true.
There's an area known for its pickles, and that's really nice because it has lots of rivers that you can.
Swamp scene.
Yeah, with like reeds. And it's nice. A lot of people go boating on vacation around here.
Okay. All right, who has number 25? This is our last written down question, but go ahead, Jasmine.
Okay.
Do you have different fashion trends than the U.S.?
I would say it's not as different as like people who wear saris in India or people who wear kimonos. And it's also like just plain t-shirt and pants. But I have to say, I have a really hard time. I find myself always buying solid colors because I can't find stripes that I like because they put together colors that feel funny to me as an American, and or patterns that just look different, and I can never quite find what my American self wants. And they don't wear lace as much. The women don't wear lace, like at all, actually. And in Berlin, a lot more people wear just black stuff, sort of to be safe, I guess, like fashion-wise conscious. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Just like black. Yeah, that's right. You're fashionable in Berlin. And what in particular do you mean?
So who came up with this question? Maddie. Okay, what do you particularly mean?
I just meant like, did you wear like jeans and t-shirts like we do, or do you wear like more dresses and dressy clothes?
It's more jeans and t-shirts. In fact, like to our church, people mostly wear jeans and t-shirts too.
Yeah. I figured you did. Any other questions? I know some of you guys were like, whoa, they have no speed limit. A lot of eyes just got huge when you said that.
Just like
So-
no free time.
Alright, we'll go Gracie
Yeah,
first.
that's right.
Okay, so you know for the tests that you take in 6th grade, okay. So what if you like got into one? Like, what if you went into the lower one? Could you be moved up if you got better?
It's not some tests, but you basically the teachers are recommending something, and there are also schools. They are called comprehensive schools, where it's basically combining both, and you can easily kind of switch between the different classes. And of course, it has gone much more that way that people are aiming for higher education in terms of university degrees, and that's why you need to go to the high school to have your Abitur. And but yeah, if you don't make it, then you're also in a school where you just feel more comfortable because you understand what's being discussed. It's like when I was in primary school, there was a boy who just at the end of 4th grade, he could hardly read. right? And then it doesn't make sense to read good Shakespeare, and so you're lost. And so in the end, the school system in Germany is also, or let's say at the end of 9 years of school, there's a very good vocational training where you get a very good education. Let's say even people who sell stuff in shops, they have 3 years of training and they get a lot of input, and they are actually proud salespeople because they know what they're. Oops.
That's us.
Ah.
So,
But yeah,
thank you so much for your time today.
Bye.
Go ahead.
Okay.